What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome to Saturday edition of the daily fantasy quickie. We'll do this in English to hopefully help our international followers because we've got some who were added today in the group as well and some who like the page. So hopefully this becomes useful for them and be able to help them in their fantasy teams. All right, Com, how are you?
Okay. Post birthday hangover.
Yes. So
But,
for those who missed it, yesterday was Commish's birthday. So
The week was bad.
catch the
bad so far.
greetings. What?
The week has been bad for me so far. So far down in most of my leagues.
So yeah, well, we'll see. We're still early. We still have 2 days of play dates left. Is it close or is it too? Is it
Close,
or?
Close.
All right. So good luck with that. But good news first. Let's talk about good news first. Storylines for today. OG Anunoby of Toronto returned. So now Toronto is in full force.
Complete Toronto
lineup. Finally.
Yes, finally they're complete. And just as we guessed, it was Chris Boucher who moved to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect for everybody involved.
Yeah, including those who own Norman Powell, who has been hot over the past few weeks already. So
what I said was Norman Powell should get more respect. That's what I said. Verbatim.
So what do you think is the rest of the season outlook for Norman Powell? Top 70 feasible?
More than top 70. He's 40 something right now. And then the past since the time the injury started, he's number 36. In the 30s, the ranking of Norman Powell. And yes, his scoring might go down a little, but the 3-pointers, the steals, and his efficiency for a shooter, for a scorer. What's the difference between Norman Powell, Terrence Ross, and Dillon Brooks? You will say. Well, Norman Powell has 1.5 steals. Norman Powell is shooting 50% from the field.
Yeah.
And if Dillon Brooks can shoot 50% from the field, Memphis will probably be in the playoffs right now. So Norman Powell is top 50.
Very underrated. I think the only problem before with Norman Powell is that he doesn't get that much time, or he isn't featured in the offense of Toronto. But like we said, even if he came off the bench last year, it was the same story for him. There was an injury, he was slumping, there was an injury, he was started, then he started to catch fire, and then when Toronto went back to full health, he went back to the bench and still was very good fantasy wise. So I think he's very underrated, and it's just the name value. His name value isn't as high as maybe Terrence Ross or other players who are.
Actually, it's maybe people seeing him as a Terrence Ross or maybe just as a Dillon Brooks.
With the stack lineup and with the stack Toronto lineup, people see him as what, the 4th, 5th option there.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, that's true. But this year, I think he's scoring more than Fred VanVleet. As far as I know, I'm not sure, but
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Better. Yeah. So another player there in Toronto that I want to touch on is OG Anunoby, and I know his stock is very low.
Yeah.
But he had a good game. And I got the feeling he's starting at the center power forward position will be very good for him. Before these injuries and this COVID thing happened, OG was already starting at the 4 or 5. And he was playing very well already that time, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
So this is very, very good for him. This is actually better for him than Norman Powell in the sense that it has more effect for him that he's starting at that 4 or 5 position.
Yeah.
So try to get him. Try to get OG Anunoby.
And he maybe in the first few games he won't be as good yet. Usually OG has certain streaks of not playing really well early and then until he catches some fire or does the other things. Good thing about OG is his defensive stats are there. His rebounding, he doesn't really need to score. But let's touch up a bit on Boucher. Probably won't hurt his value because he's been coming off the bench anyways.
Yes, if there's anybody who could go to the bench and still perform, it's Boucher. I mean, he's used to it. That's his role the whole season. So he's not going to be affected by this either. So
Yeah.
Toronto players are looking good.
Yeah,
They're okay.
and Boucher being on the starting lineup, I don't think was any better. Maybe more consistent, but really the numbers would probably be almost similar to when he was coming off the bench.
Yes, and the good thing about Boucher off the bench is that Norman Powell is not off the bench, as we said, right?
Yeah.
There's no, if you look at the bench, it's like a GLeague bench. Like Watanabe, like Bembry,
Yeah.
like Stan Johnson. I mean, everybody, no scorers there. And Boucher has been, if you can see the past few games of Boucher off the bench, he's actually not giving you the rebounds or the steals or the blocks, but the points. He had a game where he had 30 points and 5 rebounds and nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. So that's good for him because I think the steals and blocks will return, will be there. So if he can add the points, then that's great.
That could be better for him. All right. Moving on to the next storyline, we've already talked about a lot of times, and a lot of fantasy managers are really how should I say this? Excited about certain players, especially those that were coming off the G League. But some players have disappointed, and then probably the best player out of the G League initially got injured today. So
Yes.
it doesn't look as good as when it started. And people might be wondering, would this be the real story or moving forward, or would we expect them to get back up into the fantasy relevant status?
I believe health permitting, if they're not injured, they'll get back to the fantasy relevant status.
Let's talk about one player at a time. So Kevin Porter Jr. was probably the best G League call-up so far. He came off the bench today, and that would probably worry some of his owners because Houston started John Wall and had Oladipo, and that's the reason why he came off the bench. And then he played just 9 minutes or 10 minutes before getting injured. Yes.
But
So-
we talked about this, Jeremy. If you remember, we said John Wall needed the scope in his knee, the procedure, sometime after the season. Not meaning that he's gonna stop the season or he's gonna go out. He's
Yeah.
gonna come back. So when he comes back, when Oladipo comes back, then obviously Kevin Porter will come off the bench.
Yeah.
And we said he will still have value off the bench, but obviously not the 30.5 assist, 10 assist kind of value. But John Wall needing that procedure means that there's a possibility he'll be shut down, and Oladipo has a possibility of being traded.
Yep.
So the point is you have to really look at everything in a bigger picture. I mean, you have to be patient and just stay with Kevin Porter Jr. The problem is the injury. That I don't.
Yeah, that's a problem, the injury. And again, it also depends on where you are at the standings. Because being patient might not work for you if you're like at the 9th or 8th spot and then you're battling for that final playoff spot. You're trying to push yourself to get over that playoff line. And that might not help seeing Kevin Porter Jr. coming off the bench or getting injured. So I think that's where the problem is for some managers.
Well, the injury part, yes, I agree. If it's a major injury, then they have to decide. But if it's not a major injury, even if he comes off the bench, he can help you. Which is what we said about Isaiah Stewart. The thing about Jeremy, we both were talking about the Moses Brown and Isaiah Stewart thing.
Yeah.
At that time, it looked bad. But
Because
right now,
Moses played
Right?
2016 in 5 blocks against
But
Chicago.
right now, what we were saying is coming true. Isaiah Stewart is still producing every game. Not
Yep.
20 games, but at least you're not going to get what Moses Brown gave you the other game, right? And probably what he will give you sometimes, some games going forward if Al Horford plays. So that's basically how it is. There are players like Kevin Porter, Isaiah Stewart, even off the bench, even if there's no rest, they will produce. They will be solid. There are players like Moses Brown. Who else? Some other
Pokusevski
that without rest, without injuries, they might not be relevant. Then you have to wait.
Yeah. So, and of course, speaking of Isaiah Stewart, that's another player that we've already recommended picking up from your waiver wire. And for a player who was picked off your waiver wire, probably he's the 13th best player there, right? And I don't think he is producing that type of value. He's producing better value because he's averaging around 8 points and probably around 4 rebounds per game. And then
Stewart, are you talking about Stewart?
Yeah,
more.
Stewart.
More. He's producing more. He's basically a 10.8 rebound guy right now.
Yeah, and good efficiency as well. Like,
and with steals and blocks.
Yes, and with steals and blocks. So really solid player off the bench. He's like a light version of Robert Williams.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes.
And the good thing about Stewart is that moving forward as the season progresses, he might get that opportunity to start or play more minutes. So
he
at least
playing more minutes.
Yeah, he is playing more minutes, but we've talked about Plumlee might be rested for a few games or shut down later on.
If you look at Plumlee's minutes, it's not playing more than 26 minutes anymore. For the past 8-10 games, he's still producing because, I guess he's become a productive player, still getting the 15-12 rebounds and those assists. But he's not playing more than 26 minutes. No game more than 26 minutes. And it's because of Isaiah Stewart. And that is what Jeremy is saying. It's starting.
Yeah.
And it's going to get better for him.
And let's talk about Moses Brown and Pokusevski. And maybe KJ Martin as well. Those three players, are they dropped right now, or are they players that you should hold on until at least the trade deadline?
Hold on until trade deadline. We said that yesterday, and that's still my take on it. And Moses Brown, I know he's gonna have games. I don't know tomorrow if Al Horford's gonna play, because it's a back-to-back for OKC tomorrow and the next day, I think, back-to-back. So I'm assuming Al Horford will miss one game. So then you'll get the Moses Brown game in one of those games, and then an egg the other game.
Goose egg on the next game.
So maybe that's what you should expect from Moses Brown going forward. Like, you don't know if when he'll start. You don't know if he's gonna get minutes. You have to wait until March 26.
Yeah. So if Al
Horford doesn't get traded, then you decide. I don't know.
We'll see. I think we can't say at this point if he's a drop or if he's a hold after March 25, because we don't know what will happen there. But for now, you could, if you could bear that pain of some goose eggs before March 25, then maybe you could still hold on to him. So yeah, those are the GLeague Boys update. If you are worried, then it's something that you should have expected. Inconsistencies and smaller roles if the starters are back.
And if you got them, that's the point of selling high and selling fast.
Yep.
Really. I could have done that in some fair league, but it's hard. You really have to hustle and sell fast because it's something that came out of nowhere.
But I think at this point KPJ still has value.
Yes, but if you sold him
earlier
at that time when he got 30-10, I don't know what you could have gotten, but you could have gotten something really, really valuable and more and safer and has proven track record.
Yeah.
Because KPJ, even if he doesn't get injured, he might get crazy. So this is a Kyrie Irving fan or a disciple of Kyrie.
No, I think that's too harsh of a comparison for Kyrie Irving.
It's true. Right?
I think Porter might have probably a worse track record in terms of off the court issues than Kyrie.
Okay. I agree to that.
Right. So anyway, that's the G League update, and let's see. It's probably 5 days or 6 days away, and from before the trade deadline. So far, it's been quiet. So this might be the calm before the storm, or this could be it. Some trade deadlines are really uneventful in previous years. All right, talking about off the bench players who are back or who have resurfaced. TJ McConnell, he's been dropped in a couple of my leagues. And he wasn't even added. I mean, I was even asking Eric if I should use my number one waiver priority for TJ McConnell, and I didn't because he still didn't play well over the past couple of games. So I got him for free.
Yes.
So and luckily for me, today he produced really, really good numbers, and I watched the game, and he was like, this is the first time I watched him in full. So TJ McConnell, and he was really annoying and fast and really effective.
When we get questions about struggling players, all I'm thinking is some factors. Number one is what's the role of that player on the team. Number two is what's the upside of the player.
Yeah.
What's the upside of the player and how good that player is. Number three. TJ McConnell, we know his role with Indiana. I know Jeremy watched the game a while ago, and he has a role in the team. I don't care if Darius is there or whatever. He has a role in the team. And what is his upside? He showed his upside already previously, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is with the Caris LeVert back, that's a big piece. So he has to adjust. So he has to take some games, right? So when the adjustment period, not only for him but for the coach and for the players
and for the rest of the players, yes.
So I think if he adjusts fully, he'll not be as good as before. Not like this good, but I think he's gonna be okay. He's a 12-team guy. He's a standard league guy. That's why I said don't drop him. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy, who's happy right now. He got a piece for basically free, right?
Yes.
That's gonna be important for him going forward in the fantasy playoff.
Yep. Definitely.
Right. So that's how we should look at things.
And after watching the game, if we talk about the role of TJ McConnell, I think he is the main backup at the point guard spot.
Yeah.
And they even play him with Brogdon at the same time. Him, Brogdon, and LeVert at the same time. They sometimes use that lineup as well. So I think that role has been really defined. Now they've probably slowly adjusted. I don't expect him to do this every game. But even half of this is good enough. True. Half of what he did today. Like,
yes.
I think he had 16 points.
15 assists.
Yeah, even 8 points or 10 points, and then 7 assists or 6 assists would be good, and then a couple of steals. Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is the steals and the assists. So the scoring, it's okay. If you have a team who's good in scoring, then you probably won't mind him scoring 2, 3, 4 points as long as he gives you those assists and steals. And the efficiency as well. I think he started off like 7 for 7 or 5 for 5.
And he has done that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Scoring 5 of 5, 6 of 6. That kind of efficiency. So it's hard to find.
Another player who many fantasy managers got frustrated over the past few weeks or games is Keldon Johnson, and he has been dropped a lot of times. I think I've been looking into forums after today's game, and they have been saying that they just dropped Keldon Johnson before this happened. So he did 2020. That's probably a stretch. That's a fluke, the 2020, but he can produce significant.
He can produce, and the thing is, again, what's his role in the team? LMA is out. It's down to Rudy Gay and himself for the power forward position, and without LaMarcus, the rebounding, he's gonna get more opportunities, and that's what he showed today: 22 rebounds, and Poole got into foul trouble. So when games happen where Poole gets into foul trouble, that's where he'll get his opportunity. So Keldon is good. I mean, he's young, he's good, and young. So that means he's gonna be inconsistent. He's gonna have games where he's gonna disappear. But overall, again, he's a standard league guy for me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drop him.
Yeah, and I think today Derek White and DeJounte played so. It wasn't good. So they let Keldon Johnson do his thing. So I think moving forward, it could be a rotation of those players performing. There might be days wherein DeJounte plays better or produces more than White and Johnson, and then there are days where White does the same and then Keldon just does the same. So I think, but overall, those three guys are definitely a hold, especially on standard leagues and more deeper leagues.
Yes.
All right. So those are the storylines of this Quickie Big Risers. Let's talk about Big Risers. Aaron Gordon. We talked about him yesterday.
Yes.
And we were saying that this could be something that he'd be able to sustain being a strong performer, and he is on the trading block, so Orlando might be shopping him around and showcasing him.
Yes, and for this week, that's what we said yesterday. Particularly this coming week.
The exact words of Commish there was this week. He should be doing really well this week.
Yes, and the 3-point shooting is a surprise, but the assists are not. But he's been shooting better this year. I really like him going forward. But right now, after this game, I think his price will go very high. So I think that's pass already. If you own him, then good for you. If you don't own him, don't chase him at this price. I'm sure the owners are gonna increase his price. Yeah, too high.
Sell him too high.
So just let it be. Let it go.
I am ashamed to also say that I dropped Aaron Gordon when he got injured.
Well, it took too long. It was 4.
And at that time, I was like really, really, really struggling. And those were the days when Beal was struggling or wasn't really too good yet. And then Booker was still struggling. So those were my top players. So I was really down. I think I reached a point where I was 13 or 12 in a 14-team league. So I just had to drop someone just to get someone.
You can't say that's wrong. I think it's okay. What rank are you now?
Oh, I'm within the playoff.
Exactly.
I'm at 8, I think, right now.
Exactly. If you didn't drop Aaron Gordon, maybe you're out of it.
Yeah.
Totally. So I think it's okay.
All right. So, and it's the same league I dropped Draymond, I think.
But at least you're in fighting distance.
Yes.
When you get to the playoff, all those mistakes are gone. It's back to square one, right? So those are forgotten already.
Yeah.
Learning experience.
Yeah. Now we know. But again, that's it. As long as you'll be able to replace those players, have a good enough team to battle, I think that's good enough. All right. Darius Garland. This player we've had a lot of questions about this player. Whether this player should be dropped,
traded.
If there is a list of players that is being asked, if someone wants to add a player, Darius Garland is probably one of those in the should I drop list.
The most disrespected.
And probably he is, and also probably on face value, he's probably the worst among the should I drop him list.
Yes, because he really sucked. I mean, for a period of time. But the thing is, you have to see the story, the situation. He got hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt and he came back, and then he was not right, and he went out again. He rested, or he let his injury heal again. So he was not perfect. But right now, I can see after the All-Star break, he's playing very well. He's starting to get his early season game back. So I think if he's the +1 and you need a point guard in the trades, because as Jeremy said, I've been seeing a lot of blank plus Garland. So I'm saying, okay, if you're gonna give Garland for free, then sure, why not? Right? Yeah. He's a very good +1.
All right. So, but at this point, is it safe to hold on to Garland?
Yes. For me, it's safe. He's healthy. He's fully healthy. So I think Cleveland right now looks like they're getting away from the playoff positioning. It looks like they're trying to solidify their first 5.
All right. So
Yeah.
there you have it. Darius Garland, Christian Wood, starting to slowly pick it up.
Another popular question.
Yeah, Christian Wood is another popular player who's been asked whether they should trade for him, or ship him out because of concerns of a tanking Houston team. So should we be selling already our Christian Wood? That's the big question.
Yeah, we have those questions in our FPW group also. Some people are asking, some people are trade or whatever. I've thought about it because I own Christian Wood, and I think I'm gonna hold. I'm not gonna trade Christian Wood because people forget the upside of this guy. And watching Houston a while ago, today, I watched Houston when Wood was not playing, and today it's just night and day. Wood is like their Vucevic. It gives them a chance to compete but lose in the end, which is, as we said, perfect for what we want.
No, because the talent level of a complete Houston team versus the talent level of those players who are not named John Wall, Victor Oladipo, and Christian Wood is really far apart. If you think about it, without John Wall, without Oladipo, without Wood, they're just G League players. Kevin Porter,
literally G League players,
right? Justin Patton, everyone, KJ Martin, all of those players came from the G League. So the talent disparity is really far apart. So hold on, Christian Wood.
Hold on. For me, hold on. He's a second rounder if he's healthy. It's a second round. I'm gonna hold.
Yeah, and it's just weird because everybody was so high on Christian Wood, and then right now when you have him, you're thinking of, and just after a few games of coming back, you're thinking of selling him already. He hasn't even reached the peak of his potential.
No, I think it's because of the rest, the shutdown.
The rest concerns, yes.
Yeah. But I think he just came back. He's well rested already, and Houston is losing anyways. So like Vucevic, I think they're gonna play till the end.
Yeah, and he's a young player. He's not like an old player.
Oh, not till the end. Maybe he's gonna rest the last week, but by the last week, everybody's resting, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with someone who's.
And you won't really mind dropping him unless you're in a dynasty league or a keeper league.
Yes.
Right. So, and last of our big risers, Joe Ingles. Today was off the bench because Conley still played well. Is he someone you should already keep, considering that he is coming off the bench?
I think he's helpful to some teams. It's like a Royce O'Neal. It's like Justin Holiday. He's that kind of a player. It's like, he's in your team. It doesn't hurt you. Sometimes he gives you these games, but other times it's just 5 assists, 4 points, 1 steal, 1 3, something like that. But he's efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over. He shoots very well. So just keep it in. You need that. You need that in your team. You cannot have 12 Russell Westbrooks in your team. Well, maybe you want that, but you can't have that. You have to round up your team with efficient players. So yeah, he's a hold for me.
All right.
Ingles is a hold for me.
All right, those are our big risers. Let's talk about the worrying players. Players we are worried about because of their trending down performance. Gary Trent was bad today. He had the minutes. He had fair enough minutes. Not really a 15-minute or a 10-minute game, but he had around 25, 26.
Yeah, 27 minutes I think today.
Yeah.
Around 27. Yeah.
And he just didn't shoot well.
Yes, but that is what that is the Gary Trent we know. Sadly.
Yeah.
This is the Gary Trent we know. Yeah, he's struggling lately. 1 of 11, 2 of 7, so that's 3 of 18 the past 2 games since CJ's come back. And yes, is he a drop? Soon. In 12 teams, yeah, maybe you can drop him. But in
12 teams, I think he is a drop.
Yeah, in deeper leagues, you can still hold on because he is gonna have games. He's like a Dylan Brooks. He's gonna have good games. He's gonna have bad games. Overall, he shoots 40.
Yeah,
That's how he is.
Yeah, because it's also I think many are also thinking of what to do with Gary Trent moving forward, because he had a good game last game.
Yes.
That's more challenging to deal with because he had a good game last game and then he had another bad game. So it's that decision making makes the decision making harder, because will he have a good game or will he have a bad game? What's the trend here moving forward? So
the thing with Gary Trent is I don't think there will be a pattern. I mean, it's gonna be it depends.
It's gonna be an on-off night. It's like he'll probably be like a Carmelo Anthony who you are not sure.
Maybe Tim Hardaway. Maybe a Tim Hardaway.
But I think Tim Hardaway is more consistent. Will have more consistency.
I guess,
than Gary Trent.
A little.
Yeah, because I think Dallas probably has more place for him, and when it comes to Portland, it's really all about Lillard and TJ McConnell. So I think that's gonna be harder for Trent to be consistent in that type of game.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about Kelly Oubre, who has been trending down, and he is back to that early season funk that he had. This
is a buy low.
Okay.
He was doubtful to begin with today, but
does he have an injury?
Yeah, he was doubtful, not because of the wrist. I think he was kicked somewhere and it really was painful, but he forced himself to play because maybe Steph is out.
Mm-hmm.
But he might not play tomorrow. It's a back-to-back. But I think it's a buy low because he's not healthy. Whether it's the wrist, whether it's whatever, he's not healthy. And I'm betting he'll be healthy when it matters. Mm-hmm. So if you're ready in the playoffs anyway, go.
If you're not in the playoffs...
No, don't. You're not in the position to gamble if you're not in the playoffs. But I'm talking to those managers who are in the playoffs already.
But if you're not in the playoffs and you're holding on to him, should you sell him already?
But if you're gonna sell him very low, depends on who you can get. I mean, you try to negotiate a better deal, I guess. But don't just give him for free, or I don't know.
Yeah, don't sell too low. Don't sell too low.
Like AJ Martin, that's too low for me.
Sell the idea that he is just on a slump.
Yeah.
Right? If you are struggling, what you sell is the idea that he is on a slump and this player would help you in the playoffs. Right? So give me someone...
From the trade master, Jeremy. That's why he has 3 superstars in his team.
Oh, but I just thought about, that's the one thing you can sell, just so that you won't be selling him too low, right? So Kelly Oubre, anyone can sell for the right value, I guess.
Yes.
Let's talk about another Kelly Olynyk. Did he start today?
Yes, he started.
All right, but Bam is back already and slowly getting back into form. So that could be...
Many people are, again, very low on Olynyk.
Yeah.
But somehow I'm not. I don't know what happened, but I kind of like Kelly Olynyk going forward. I think
he's a boring player. I think that's one thing. He's a boring player.
But it will change if LaMarcus goes to Miami, or maybe another goes to Miami. And of course, everything's different. But at in this situation, that this Miami team, Kelly Olynyk is going to play 30 to 35 minutes, whether with or without Bam Adebayo. And he's going to be doing enough to help your team. Yeah, there will be games like this, but he's still going to help you in some other protection.
No, the good thing about Kelly Olynyk is that he is not a one-dimensional player. He is a center with a lot of skills. He can pass, he can rebound, he can defend. So he can shoot the threes, right? So he is he can contribute in a lot of ways. So definitely still a hold for us until maybe what happens in the trade deadline. And if you ask us what will happen in the trade deadline, we don't know, and we'll cross the bridge when we get there. All right. Another worrying player is Jared Vanderbilt. I think we expected this a bit, but today he came off the bench, and that's probably the more worrying part. He came off the bench, and they started McDaniels.
Not only off the bench, he was totally gone. Totally
He
gone.
played
from the
like
rotation.
1 or 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, garbage time minutes. So he's totally gone. And Pancho is there. Jaden McDaniels started.
Yeah.
There's a Bogey and there's everybody else. I guess Chris Finch has starred on him. So
I think Minnesota, that rotation is a mess. So,
but you should add McDaniels. I should say you should add McDaniels.
yeah. Is it McDaniels or Noel first?
Jalen Noel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with McDaniels.
All right.
I like
Better
the
upside.
of McDaniels. Yeah, I'm gonna go with McDaniels. Noel is just a 3-point shooter, so you can find that anywhere. So McDaniels.
All right. So those are our worrying players for today. Let's talk about some waiver. Just quickly run through them. Biggest name here is Hassan Whiteside. I think this is an ad until the trade deadline or until he gets moved.
Yes.
Does he have value in
And he's
Sacramento
playing
at this
now.
point? He's playing around 15 minutes.
But 15 minutes, but not not much. If you find the stats is giving you 1 block, maybe 4 rebounds, 5 rebounds, valuable, then maybe you're 14th in your league or something, because your team would be too weak if that's important to you. So
the only reason to add him is speculative because he might be moved.
Yes,
Just to be
and
clear.
I like that he's playing. At least that helps. Well, what if he just suddenly gets hot? At least it's gonna help you a little while you wait for the trade or the buyout.
All right, so that's Hassan Whiteside. Jordan Poole started today, and we expected this because Steph Curry was out. He had, I think, 25 points with good percentages. Curry, I think, would be out a couple of
Tomorrow.
games.
Yeah, he's gonna be out tomorrow again.
Yeah, so I think safe to say he'll be back next week. Well, not safe to say, but we hope that he'll be back next week. But temporarily, Jordan Poole, both him and Seth Curry will be out for 2 games, ironically. So, coincidentally, both of them will be out for 2 games. So, Jordan Poole is an ad, and we talked about McDaniels and Maxi Kleber. Yeah. Another underrated big.
I'll add Shake Milton.
Shake Milton because Seth is out tomorrow.
If Milton is gone, maybe you can stream Forecast.
Yeah, from Philadelphia. Yeah. All right, those are our waiver pickups for today. Let's talk about trade analysis. Another segment in our show is called the trade analysis of the day. I'll give 2. One is a trade analysis and one is add drop type of decision making. Christian Wood for Jaylen Brown.
Christian Wood for Jaylen Brown. That's 1-on-1? No
Yeah, 1-on-1.
Christian Wood.
All right. Is this a need? No, I don't think it's a needs-based trade as well because they can give similar stat set.
But yes, they can help in the similar categories, but some of the categories Christian Wood can give more, like the blocks, the rebounds. I think he has more, but Jaylen scores more, in my opinion,
and shoots more threes.
Yes.
So Christian Wood.
I just like Wood's trajectory is trending up. Jaylen Brown at the very best is just like this.
Yeah, and like you said, the upside of Christian Wood is probably around 2nd round value. Jaylen Brown upside would probably be at best 3rd round.
Yeah, 3rd round.
And I think the more reasonable value of Jaylen Brown is around 4th.
Yes, but 3rd round is achievable.
Yeah, 3rd round is
this one. I can give you one trade deadline, trade analysis, just one for you. Caris LeVert for Kemba Walker. What do you want in that deal?
Kemba?
There, one of our followers asked us also. So
Kemba?
I want to see what Yeah. For me, it's Kemba also. I mean, I don't
I'm
think
not sure
Darius,
if I'm
but
just
still
picking that out of name value.
But Kemba's playing better. I think.
Yeah,
Right.
he is.
So-
But
But still Kemba for me.
I still don't trust LeVert being very consistent. Plus, Indiana is
Okay.
also quite a deep team.
Yeah.
And a lot of
I-
players can give what Levert can give. So I'll probably take Kemba. This one, another ad drop situation. Does he get Devontae Graham, for Trent, Clark, or Tate? Gary Trent, Brandon Clark, or Jason Tate? I
So
think
he's gonna
he
drop
can.
either of the three.
Yeah, who should he drop? I think Trent would be the obvious answer here.
Yeah. Trent. He's
This
owning
was
the
asked
three, so
before today. So yesterday it was a more difficult choice because Trent performed well in his past game. So I wasn't sure if he can perform.
Yeah, but
consistently.
yesterday Trent had a very bad game. So it's 2 games.
Is it
in a row.
yesterday or
Yesterday.
no? He
one
had
out-
like a 20.
1 out of 11.
Oh, it's the other day.
Yeah,
He
1
had
out
a
of
20.
11 yesterday and then 2 out of 7.
Yeah, sorry. It was the other day that he had a
But
good game.
Gary Trent, he can drop for Devontae because both of them shoot terribly, but Devontae can give you the assist.
Yeah.
Right? So it's an easy choice. for
And
me.
Devontae's coming off the bench and he hasn't really shot poorly as he did when he started the season. So
Yeah.
So that's a plus as well. And Clark and Tate are consistent at least in what they can bring. But at least Tate has a good upside.
Yes, I agree.
So
Tate is a whole.
yeah. Alright, so that's it for our Daily Fantasy Quickie. It's an English version. For the first time listeners, hope you like it. Hope it was helpful and insightful for those who have been following us. Hope you don't mind us doing an English version because it's a change in how we converse as well. But we'll try to do more of this type of format, or at least this type of language moving forward as we also transition and tap some international market. But don't worry, we'll still do the usual things that we do. Alright, so yeah, that's it for Daily Fantasy Quickie. We'll see you again tomorrow, Sunday. Bye guys.
Bye.